So with this inquiry lab, we are solely concentrating on using the counters with both sides for just subtracting integers. If we just get a problem like this that we've already kind of worked on, it says a dolphin swims 6 meters below the surface of the ocean. There was a clue word there. Below. And below is telling me that the 6 is really a negative. So I'm going to start with -6. It says then it jumps to a height of 5 meters above the surface of the water. Where's my clue word?
Above.
Above. And above means we are going. It's going to be positive, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a positive 5. Then it says determine the difference. When you find in math, what are you doing when you find the difference? You are. So I want in your books, you guys should be circling and underlining. You're going to have a -6 minus a positive 5. Now, knowing the way that I like to do it, it's just keep, change. I'm going to do it below. I'm going to keep the -6. I'm going to change the negative sign to, or subtraction to addition. And I'm going to change the positive to a. So now we just have a -6 plus a -5, which equals?
-11.
Negative what?
11.
Not 1.
Oh, 11.
If they're the same sign,
Oh.
so you add. So it's a -11.
Brindy Gilbert to the office, please. Brindy Gilbert.
So using this formula, we were able to read a story problem, set it up as I went, using key terms. And so the difference between 6 below and 5 above is 11. Go ahead and scroll up. But now we're going to do it with the counters. So just remember, we already had that answer. What it says to do it with the counters is it says the number of positive counters placed on the map was our 5 minus a -6, right? So we placed 5 positive counters on the map because that's what we start with, 5. Then it says remove 6 negative counters. If I look at the map, are there any negative counters on this map? Okay, and this is where it gets confusing for me, or a little bit shady. I'm like, okay, so what do? You have to add 0 pairs. Remember, if I have a positive and a negative, that is a 0. Can I add, if I have 5 plus 0, what does that still equal? 5. So that's why you're putting the pairs on there with it. Why am I adding 6 pairs? Because I have to find a -6. Okay, so once they've added that on there, so it says add, in that box you're going to put 6. Add 6 0 pairs to the map. Go ahead and scroll up. Then it says, now you can remove 6 negative counters. Count the remaining positive counters. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So a 5 minus a -6 equals 11. The difference between the distance is 11. Go ahead. I just need to turn page. So now we're going to do another one together. We have a -6 minus a -3. Let's still keep writing it down. Keep, change. So we're going to keep the -6. I want you to fill this in right underneath of here. A -6 change the negative, or the subtraction to an addition, change the -3 to a +3, and then if I have a negative and a positive, I am going to subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3, and I'm going to keep the sign of the bigger number. So far we think that's going to be my answer. So what it tells us to do is you place 6 negative counters on the map. They did that. We want to remove 3 negatives. Are there 3 negatives here that we can remove?
Yes.
Yeah, so you just put an X through them. You didn't have to add any 0 pairs. And what am I left with? 3 negative counters. So it says there are 3 negative counters remaining. So a -6 minus a -3 equals a -3. We're going to find -5 minus 1. I always want you to start by doing the keep, change, change. Keep the -5, change subtraction to addition, make that positive a negative. Then you follow the rules of addition. If both of them are negative, you just add. So 5 plus 1 is 6, and that's a -6. How do we do it with the counters? You place blank negative counters on the map. So what do we start with? So you place 5 negative counters on the mat. You need to remove 1 positive counter. Are there any positives here? No, so you have to add 1 pair. Okay? Then it says, so we added the 1 0 mat. Now you can remove the 1 positive. And once you crossed it off, you're left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negatives. So there are 6 negative counters remaining, so a -5 minus 1 equals a -6. Again, we started with our keep, change, change, and then we're going to do it again. It says the model shows that that removing 1 positive counter yielded the same result as adding 1 negative counter. To check, find a -5 plus a -1 is the same as -5 minus 1. This form here was our keep, change, change. Okay, so let's look at the next page. Now we're going to do some together. You guys can tell me the answer to this, I know. What's 7 minus 6? 1. Okay, so we better come away with 1 positive number, right? Okay, so what do I start with? 7 positives, so I'm going to put down 7 pluses. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are supposed to take away 6 positives. Do I have 6 positives that I can take away?
Yes.
So you're going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. Circle what you're left with. Number 2 says we're going to, now this is a little bit different. Let's rewrite it also as our keep, change, change. So I have 5 plus 3, right? Keep the 5. Change subtraction to addition. Change the negative to a positive. What should our final answer be then?
8.
Okay, that's what it should be. But now let's show it with the counters. Start with the original problem. I should start with 5 positives. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to take away 3 negatives, but I don't have any negatives in my box. So I have to add my 0 pairs. So a 0 pair is a plus and a negative. How many of those do I need to add? 3, because because I have to take away 3 negatives. So a plus and a negative, a plus and a negative. So now I can X out my 3 negatives and then count my positives that I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do it again. Keep 6, change subtraction to addition, change the negative to a positive. So 6 plus 2 is 8. That's what we should come up with. Go back to the original problem. What am I going to put in here in my box? 6 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to take away 2 negatives. Can I do that?
No.
I don't have any negatives. Add the 0 pair. 1, 2. Now can I get rid of my negatives?
Yes.
1, 2. Then count your positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 minus 8. Keep, change. So I have 5 plus a negative 8. Which we would have a positive and a negative, so we actually subtract. So it's 8 minus 5.
3.
And you would keep the sign of the bigger number, which is negative. So let's go back to what we need to do here. 5 positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to take away 8 positives. But I only have 5. So let's make our pair. 6, 7, 8, because those are my 0 pairs. Now cross off my 8 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What am I left with? 3 negatives. Keep the negative 7. Change subtraction to addition. Change the negative to a positive. I have a negative 7 and a positive 8. One's negative, one's positive, so I have to subtract. 7 minus 2.
Positive 8?
I think I might have said 8. Negative 7 plus 2. So it's 7 minus 2, which is 5. And is it going to be positive or negative? Negative, because the 7 is negative. The bigger number is negative. So let's go back to writing it with our coins. I have a 7 negatives, because it's a negative 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can I take away 2 negatives?
Yes.
Yeah, 1, 2. What am I left with?
5 negatives.
5 negatives. So it'd be negative 5. 6. Keep the negative 7. Change the subtraction to
Addition.
change the positive 3 to
Negative 3.
they're both negative, so we
Add them.
add them. And what's 7 plus 3?
10.
Negative 10. Let's do the problem. I got a negative 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need to take away 3 positives. Do I have 3 positives? So I have to make some. 1, 2, 3. Take those positives away. I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 negatives. We're going to go ahead and skip 7 and 8. So then you need to turn the page. So let me explain this chart to you so you don't get confused. It says work with a partner. Circle an expression that is equivalent, underline that word. Equivalent, what does equivalent mean? Equal. Equivalent to the expression in the first column. The first one is done for you. So what it's saying, this is my first problem. This is a subtracting an integer problem, correct? Let's follow our rule. Keep, change, change, right? I wrote it underneath of here. Can I find it in one of these three columns? Right there. Isn't that the same as what I wrote down?
Yeah.
So then I'm going to circle it. We'll do another example. Keep, change subtraction to addition, change the positive to a negative. I can't express this enough. When they give you a subtraction problem of subtracting integers, you must be able to know how to change it to an addition problem. And it's just by doing the keep, change, change. So which one does this show? Would it be the first, second, or third column?
Third.
Go ahead and take a second and finish doing 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14.
Why didn't you copy, keep, change, change like I wrote on the board? And did I circle that on the board? Okay, so then let's copy it underneath. Don't forget to write the keep, change, change, and all of this too. Like, it's basically you're having it twice.
So that was the end of mine today.
Don't forget, on the original problem on the left, you're gonna write it right underneath of it. Then you're going to circle the answer.
I've been writing it above it.
Okay, whatever, you can do it above it.
Just in the same
That'll
box.
work, as long as it's really close. I'm writing it below it because I know that this is a subtraction problem, and I know I have to change it, so I always change it below. But if you felt like there's more room above it, as long as you stay consistent. Okay, so I have a keep, a -8, change subtraction to addition, change the 4 to -4. I come around and I look, there's my problem.
Wait, you said
Keep, change subtraction to addition, change the positive to a negative. Keep the 6, change the subtraction to addition, change the negative to a positive. You should have circled the first one. If you guys didn't, you need to be making corrections. If you didn't write this underneath of it, you need to be doing that also. Keep the 5, change subtraction to addition, change the negative to a positive. I looked for that problem, it's right here. Make sure if you did not get it correct, that you're finding the correct answer and filling out everything that I have on the board. So I have a -1, that stays a -1. And then I change the subtraction to a addition, change the negative to a positive. I look for this problem,
Right there.
and it's right here. Then I keep a -3, change subtraction to an addition, change the negative to a positive, and I found it right. You have to make sure that you're doing the problem and you're saying to yourself, keep, change, change, every single time in subtraction problems. So now we have some times that we need to think a little bit. Okay? Because it says, study the pattern in the table. What rule, write a rule you can use to find the difference. What's our rule? We already said it. It's what? Excellent. That's what we're going to write. Keep. Change. Change. But we need to be more mathematically correct. We need some better math terms than just keep, change, change.
You don't understand this.
You are adding the additive inverse. And inverse is the opposite.
What I'm talking about.
So then let's look at a couple of examples below. We're asking us to create something. It says, write a subtraction sentence where the difference is positive. Okay, so my difference has to be a positive number, but I have to use a positive and a negative number. So you're gonna want, and I want my difference is positive. So let's just start with a big positive number. And I'm subtracting a negative number. What number should I have?
7.
Sure. Negative 7. Then we're going to keep, change, change. So it's 12 plus 7.
19.
There's an example. We came up with a subtraction equation
Good job.
with a positive and a negative number. Now 17 says to write a subtraction sentence where the difference is negative. So I want my answer to be negative. Use a positive and negative integer. I'm going to start with, let's say, a negative 12. And I'm going to subtract 7. I'm using the same numbers. I just switched my positive and my negative signs around. Keep the negative 12. Change subtraction to addition. Change the positive to negative.
Got it.
Negative 19.
And you get negative 19.
Negative 19.